and welcome to today's video. My name is Reagan and I normally do book content. Today's going to be another book video. Today I have for you day 9 of BOOKMAS and we're going to be going through my 2024 reading journal setup. I have tried in years past to do a physical reading journal. Last year I tried to do an online Notion reading journal, and for 2024 I'm going to continue to do a Notion reading journal. So basically we're going to go through my Notion and show you how I'm going to organize my reading and how I use Notion to track my reading basically. Let's just get into it. As you can see here, I have my Notion's homepage. I do a pretty plain homepage. I need to work on getting the backgrounds or like the tops of each little section of my Notion because I don't have those yet, but basically I have a very plain homepage. We have my student dashboard, to-do list, my library, and my content planner. So obviously for this, we're going into my library because that is where I'm going to be doing all my book tracking. So this is what my library looks like. We have a few different features down here. We have a lot of little gifts. We have Harry Potter ones, just basic book gifts, just to spice things up a little bit. We have my dashboard up here, and below my dashboard we have my reading journal, my physical TBR, and my series to finish list. Over here we have my monthly wrap up, so an easy accessible way to look at each month. January all the way through December. If you click on the January, you'll go to this page that has my books read table. We have title, author, rating, date started, and date finished. This is what I did last year for each of my months, and I really enjoyed that, so I brought it into this year as well. So for each of those pages, each month you see table for every month. This makes it easy for when I'm filming videos. I just go to each page and I have my reading and everything. So it's just a nice overview for everything I need to know. We have my reading goals over here. I want to get to 100 books this year, so I have little markers to see if I'm on track. I have 25, 50, 75, 100 books, so when you go by you can check off each one as you get to it in the year. Down here I have a spot for new releases of the month, so every month I'll go through, like January, look at all the new releases, put the ones I'm interested in over here, so I'm just keeping track of them, knowing when they release. That's one thing I was bad about last year, was keeping track of new releases, so having this here I think will help me a little bit, at least for the ones I want to keep my eye on. I think it's going to be very nice to have them handy, and then at the end of the month I can just delete them and start fresh. Then we have my monthly TBR down here. It's kind of farther at the bottom because I don't do TBRs very often. I'm a big mood reader, and setting a TBR just feels kind of restrictive to me and it hinders my enjoyment a little bit. So I'm going to try and just put a few books per month on here that I want to get to that month specifically, but not like a 10 book TBR that's going to be my whole month. But right here I'm going to put a few books a month that I think should be my top priority basically. Over on this far right side, we've already gone over the reading goals. We have my 5-star reads list. I want to keep those handy. Last year I only had 2 5-star reads, so I didn't really need a list like that, but I'm hoping that having a 5-star reads list will maybe elicit more 5 stars and just keep them handy in case I need them for a video, and at the end of the year it'll be handy right there. I can just scroll and see. Now we're going to move in to my dashboard. Like I said, I have 3 sections: my reading journal, my physical TBR, and my series to finish. We're gonna move into my reading journal first. We have my reading stats page. Every time you read a book, you can add or subtract the books read. We have my currently reading gallery view. If I push new, it'll come up and I can put a picture of the book and I'll have it in my currently reading, and then I can move it to my books read view. At the end of the year, I'll have a big like tile board, all the books I've read. I think it'll be really nice to have them all, covers and everything, lined up right there, because sometimes when I don't have the physical copies, having a picture handy to edit with is very helpful. I can pop it over into my editing software and work with it there. I also have my 2024 reading goals over here on the side. I wrote down all the goals I had in my video that I posted a little while ago of my reading goals for 2024. I thought it'd be nice to have them handy here, so when I'm going in to track my reading, I can look and see, oh, I'm on track for this, I'm on track for this goal, whatever. So I'll be able to check everything off once I'm done with it, which I think will help me actually keep myself on track and keep myself thinking about those goals, because sometimes I do forget about them. Back to my library dashboard, we're moving on to physical TBR. So one of my goals was to read 50% of my original physical TBR. So this TBR is going to be my original physical TBR that I started with on January 1st. As the year goes on, I haven't exactly decided how I'm going to be adding to this. I think I might have a separate list of physical TBR books that I've added. I want to keep the original separate, so by the end of the year I know what I've read. And then once I've read one of these books, say I read Radio Silence by Alice Oseman, I'm going to color color it. I don't know, whatever color I feel like, purple. And then I can see, oh, I've read that one. So far, I have 32 books on my physical TBR. Obviously, it's not January 1st yet, and I know I have some books coming in the mail, so it's probably gonna grow by the end of December, and because of Christmas. That page is going to help me keep track of my physical TBR and keep track of how many books I've read off that physical TBR for that goal. Last thing I have in my library is my series to finish list. This is my pride and joy. I've been working on this forever and ever. We have an in progress section right here, which are all the series that I have not finished. So if you click on them, you get a little side section, the series, it's in progress, the author, and then all the books. If it's in green, that means I own it. I have the physical copy. If it's checked off, that means I've read it. In green here, I own it and I've read it. And then all the ones in red right here, I don't own. But these are all the series that I'm in the middle of and interested in finishing. Over here, we have the finished section. There's two. These are going to be series that I have finished. I've read every book, but I don't own them. So I need to buy them to move them over to finished and own. So for example, The Spanish Love Deception and The American Roommate Experiment, I've read both of them, but I only own the second one. If I have some extra money or a gift card or some situation where I'm asking for a book for a gift or something like that, I can go and look at this list and say, okay, these are books that I don't necessarily spend my money on immediately when I think of buying books, but it's there. It's also series that I want to own. If I don't want to own it, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I haven't met a series that I haven't wanted to own yet. The third section is finished and own. These are series that I have finished. I've read every single book and I own all the books in the series. 19, thought it would have been more, but I guess it's not. And then lastly, we have the coming soon section over here in yellow. This is a section for series that I've finished, but the books are coming out soon. So for example, Maple Hills, I've read and I've owned both of these. The last book, Daydream, isn't out yet. Once it is out, then I can move it back to my in progress. But I don't want to have series and the next book isn't out yet in the in progress section, because then it just makes it kind of convoluted and crowded over there. So I know that these are series that I'm interested in continuing. That is my 2024 reading journal setup. I really like making reading journals and having physical kind of representation, or even in this case, an online representation of the books I've read. It keeps me very organized. It's one of the side hobbies about reading that I enjoy, is just the organization of the reading. So I'm very happy so far with my Notion setup. It's a big upgrade from last year, and I'm hoping it works well for me. Thank you so much for watching BOOKMAS Day 9. If you haven't watched BOOKMAS 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, oh my gosh, we're like so close to being done. Also, check out any of my socials down in the description below. I always link them down there. I have a Bookstagram and I have a Goodreads that you can go follow. I'd love to speak to you on those platforms. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Bye.